So after you did your Desmos activity and you saw how moving the circle around and the parabola around on the coordinate plane affected those h and k values, we're going to formalize what that change is, and then we're going to look at what it does to a circle and how we write the equation of a circle and how we write a circle from the equation. R, as you figured out, stands for radius. So we have to take the square root of the r squared value, and that gives us the radius. That's the constant distance away from the center. And then the hk is the center of the circle. The challenge here is these negative signs are going to make you think that the h value and k value are opposite of what they actually are. So let's look at this example. 4 is x minus 1 squared plus y plus 1 squared. So the square root of 4 is 2. That's my radius. And then my center is at hk. So here's the tricky part. See the negative here? So that means my h value is actually positive 1. So my h value is going to be positive 1. But look over here. Oh shoot, that says plus. But the formula tells me that it should be y minus something. So since the value next to y is positive, that means the k value is actually negative. So my h value was 1, my k value is negative 1. If I go over to my circle, I go to 1, negative 1, and my radius is going to be 2. So I put dots 2 units away from my circle all the way around, and then, joy of notability, make a pretty circle. Or the best you can, right? So that's how you would graph your circle. Let's try another one. You see that I'm going to make sure that I pick perfect squares for our radiuses. Let's say that we have 9 is x minus x plus 2 squared plus y minus 4 squared. Let's make that a plus 4 so this will work out better. All right, now think about it. Square root of 9 is, so that's going to be my radius. My center is going to be those h and k values. So it has something to do with these numbers here on the end. But I have to be super careful about the signage before the 2 and the 4. Because that's supposed to be a negative. According to my parent function over here, that symbol between the x and the integer is supposed to be a negative. So in order for it to become positive, that means the 2 is actually a negative 2, and that positive 4 is actually a negative 4. So we're just going to put a little star over here, opposite. So the h and k values will be opposite. Let's go to negative 2. So I'm going to go over 2 and then go down 4. There's the center of my circle. That's my hk value. And then my radius is 3. So I put dots up 3, left 3, barely made it, down 3. Up, I can move my paper. And to the right 3. And again, use the wonders of notability to make yourself a happy, awesome little circle. Now, everyone's always asking me, Miss Meyer, whoa, that got way too exciting. How do you do that? Well, notice that when I tap on the circle, on the left it says style. Sorry. So click on style and click on fill. I can have no fill. Haha, kind of cool, isn't it? Green fill, pink fill. I can make the outline green or blue or brown. Who does that? So there you go. So if you want to make this a little more interactive, that's how you would do it. Let's go the other way around this time. So I gave you the equation, you gave me the circle. Now I'm going to give you the circle, you give me the equation. Let's start here in the middle. I need two pieces of information. I need the radius and I need the center. Well, here's the center of my circle right there. What is that coordinate? I need to list it as a coordinate. Good job. Good old origin, 0, 0. Then I need the radius. That's the distance from the center to the circumference of the circle. How wide is my radius? Not the diameter, just the radius. Very good. So now I have another skeleton. They keep coming back. I have r squared equals x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. The radius goes in this first blank, and then the h value, or x, goes in the second blank, and the k value will go in the third blank. So having your skeleton nearby will be very helpful. When you wind up in pre-calculus, you'll get to do some really cool stuff with circles. So this will come back to you again, not only here at the end of geometry, but as you move forward. Okay, so that's how you find your center, you find your radius, and you put it into your skeleton. Let's go to the triangle up here. Find your center, find your radius, and try and write the equation. So the x value is 6, and the y value is 4. So if you got 6 and 4, you're in good shape. If you got 4 and 6, remember you have to go horizontally first. What the heck is my radius? What's the distance from the center to the circumference? Right, it's 1. So I'd have a 1, I write the 6, and I write the 4. Easy peasy. I'm going to move this other circle because I want us to have to deal with that negative stuff. So here's your center. Find the center, find the radius. See if you can write the circle, the equation of the circle. See if you can figure out what that negative is going to do. Our center is at -7, -2. Again, if you're getting your numbers backwards, you need to make your brain say, I'm not going to get the numbers backwards anymore. You always go horizontally first and then vertical. Some of you may have said that your radius was -2 because you have to go down, but radius is a distance. So for now, in your math, radius is always a positive value. It's always a positive. To go somewhere, you have to move in a positive distance. So I'm going to put my radius here. So the 2 goes right there. What number goes next to the x minus? Right, the -7 goes next to the x minus. The -2 goes next to the y minus. And you know what's coming. What does a minus negative make? I would wind up with positives. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down and look at some of these problems you have. I'm going to just do 2 of them, I think, just so you know what I want to see. So for this first problem, I have to graph it. So I need the center and I need the radius. Well, there's nothing in parentheses with the x or the y. So that means the center has to be at 0, 0. The radius is not 9. The radius is the square root of 9, which is 3. So 0 and then 3 all the way around. It's pretty. It's wonderful. Just make it as nice as you can, please. So if you look at problems 1, 2, 3, and 4, they're all going to work about the same way. Since there is not a value in parentheses with the x or the y, we're just going to have to worry about the radius. Thank you, Miss Meyer. You're welcome. Glad I can help. Let's look at I'm going to let you figure out number 7. Let's look at number 8. Now 8's going to be a little interesting. Okay, so let's see. Let's get our center first, and then our radius. I don't know why I'm using a capital R. It should be a little r. The center, you'd think it's at positive 3, but wait, we know it's not. It's negative 3. You'd think the y value is negative 4, but no, it's always the opposite, so it's positive 4. Now here's the tricky bit. The radius is the square root of 2. It's not 2. The number on the end is not the radius. The number on the end is the square of the radius, so we have to take the square root. The square root of 2, and you can use your calculators as well, is it's between 1 and 2. And it's actually 1.41. We're actually going to graph that. So let's go to negative 3, 1, 2, 3, and then up 4. So there's the center. Got to blow up into it. The square root of 2 is approximately 1.4. So I'm going to go to the right 1.4. I'm going to go up 1.4, left 1.4, and down 1.4. So this is a little more, you have to be a little more precise here because it's not an exact value. It's a radical. And, you know, radicals are always a little more interesting. Number 9 and number 10, of course, the radiuses will turn out really nice, but just in case you come up to a situation where you have a funky radius, that's why we have calculators. And that's it. That's all you got to do. If you have questions, please email me, please text me. I'll post this video along with the notes. I hope you're doing well, and we're in our last 3 weeks, y'all. Stay cool.